I'm still smiling.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So my first video is about my cancer journey. Wow, honestly, I never thought that I would be talking about cancer. I never thought that I would think about cancer. I never thought that I would have cancer, because we all think that we're good people and we don't deserve to go through something as morbid as cancer. I mean, I don't know, for some reason I just didn't see it for myself, because I'm like, I have a lot to do, I have a lot to accomplish, and then boom, here goes cancer. So the story starts. For 2 years I was sick. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I felt like my body was basically shutting down. But I am not the type of person who is a hypochondriac. I am not the type of person who does not like to go to the doctor. I am very in tune with myself, mentally and physically. And so I started going to the doctor, inquiring what was going on, what were my symptoms. I was very fatigued. My bones were hurting. I would wake up in the middle of the night full of drenched in sweat. I had like shortness of breath, I remember one time we went to Haiti, my family and I, and we went to a hotel with my parents. There was a pool, so we spent the day at the pool, and we were playing a game in the water about holding your breath, and I was the first one to get out of the water, and I'm like, why is this? Not knowing that I knew something was wrong with me because I felt sick, but I just didn't know what it was. So for 2 years, and I was going to the doctor, I started losing a lot of weight. I couldn't eat. I felt full all the time. I was losing like a lot of weight. And this is one of the things that I feel like people will tell you, oh my God, you look so great because you're losing weight, not knowing that you're not feeling good and you're not healthy. So one of the things throughout that time that I've learned is that it's not always about look, it's about how you feel. And beauty is subjective. If you feel like you're beautiful, then screw everybody else. If you feel like you're sexy, screw everybody else. If you feel like you need to lose weight because of health wise, then go on your journey. But it was so funny how I was getting a lot of compliment when I was deteriorating. So for 2 years I was going back to the doctor. I went to the doctor. They couldn't find out what was wrong with me. When I had difficulty eating, I went to a gastroenterologist. They did endoscopy for me. They couldn't find anything wrong with me. They gave me stimulants to eat. That wasn't working. I went to a primary doctor. All my blood tests were okay. And the doctor was like, maybe, you may have depression because you're fatigued, and and anxiety because you're having heart palpitation and flutters. Nobody thought about doing any type of scan on me. So at one point I was like, all right, whatever. I have some things going on with me, but people don't want to find out what it is, so I really don't care. I'm just going to continue living my life, and hopefully God has a better plan for me. So fast forward to me starting to hate my old job and wanting to leave, because I always told myself 2 places that you cannot afford to be unhappy: your work and your home. So I was like, I'm definitely unhappy out at work. I need to leave this job. So in the middle of the night, there was like a little voice in my head saying, you don't like this place, just leave. So I applied for a new position somewhere else in with another company, and within a couple of days I got a phone call, And it was, when I tell you, it was the job of my life, like the job of my life. So I'm all excited, but I don't feel well. I don't feel well. I get the position and they ask me when can I start, and because I didn't feel so good and I thought that I was run down by my old position, because I used to work overnight and I was working very hard, I decided to take a month off. I was like, you know what, I'm just going to take a month off. I went to Haiti. I rested. I still didn't feel good. I still felt sick. And then went back. So I needed to do my physical. So I go to the nurse and I'm doing everything and they checking my eyesight. Oh my God, 2020, everything is great. Oh, you look very healthy. Everything is fine, but we need to do a chest x-ray for you. And I'm like, why do you need to do a chest x-ray for me? And they said, well, because your PPD is always positive. You were raised in Haiti. So because of the vaccine you received down there, your PPD is always going to be positive. So we need an x-ray. And I'm like, I know that. That's why I have an x-ray on file from my old job. And they were like, no, we need our x-ray. When I tell you, I did the x-ray, 45 minutes on my way home, I get a call from the nurse telling me, oh, hello, well, hi, how are you? How are you feeling? I'm like, I'm fine. And she's like, we see something on your x-ray and we would like for you to come back tomorrow, something abnormal. I was like, oh, bingo. You know, I wasn't even upset. I wasn't even frightened. I was just relieved in a sense, because I was like, all right, we have a lead. You know, we're investigating this thing. Finally, we have a break in the case. So the next day I went over again and they did a CAT scan for me. CAT scan done. Oh my God. 45 minutes later, the same thing. Oh my God, we see a mass in your lungs. Okay, all right, so now we're getting somewhere. So now I'm panicking, finally, because I'm like, okay, mass equals either it's benign or either it's malignant. Either way, there is a mass, meaning that I have to either have surgery or chemo. I'm already like thinking about all these things. So then they call me and they're like, listen, we have a doctor for you. He is a cardiothoracic surgeon because it's in your lungs and he's one of the best. So we want you to go see this doctor. And I'm like, wow. Okay, so first of all, I decided to leave my job to go to another job, and that job is found the mass. At that point, it's a mass. Then they have a great doctor for me to take over my case without me having to do any research. Now imagine that you leave your job, you take a little break, so in between there's no insurance. There's no insurance. So what am I doing? How am I going to pay for this? That's another obstacle. So I'm like, okay, I have no insurance. And the nurse is like, don't worry, we'll take care of it because you're part of the family now, you're part of the team. So we're going to, take care of the first visit until you figure out, what you're going to do. I'm like, wow, all right. So I go to the doctor, and the doctor's like telling me, I get over there to his office, big office. I sit down, and of course it's like a movie. They have you waiting for a while. So in my head, I'm already like researching everything. I'm going on Google, looking at this, looking at that. Cancer of the lungs, survival, prognosis of 2 years, 1 year, 6 months. I was looking at a bunch of stuff. So I advise you, if you ever have like a health issue or something going on with a family member or anything, please do not go on Google. You're going to lose your mind. You're gonna lose your mind. So anyway, I sit in the doctor's office. Homeboy finally comes over and he's like, I'm sorry you have to go through this, but I hear there's a little hiccup. I said, hiccup? He's like, yeah, they presented your case to me. Tell me your symptoms. So he closes his eyes and he's like, tell me your symptoms. So I'm like, I'm fatigued. He's like, I'm very itchy throughout. I've lost a lot of weight. I have flutters in my heart. I don't know what's going on. And he's like, oh, that's a sign of lymphoma. And I said, huh. He's like, but the way it presents with your age, it might be myasthenia gravis, which is like I believe in autoimmune disease. We're going to do all the tests for you, okay? We're going to do everything. We're going to do biopsy, cancer markers, tumor markers in your blood. We're going to do everything under the sun, and we're going to investigate this thing. But at the end of the day, I'm telling you, we have to take it out. You have to have a procedure. I'm like, okay, I knew I was going to have a procedure because I want to breathe fine now. Like, I want to be able to swim and not having to suffocate. I want to be able, at night, not to have my heart just palpitating. Like, I really want to be back to normal. So he's like, all right, we're going to do those tests. I did everything. All the tests, biopsy, everything came back negative. Everything came back negative. Even the biopsy of the tumor in my lungs. He's like, all right, we're going to do a PET scan. A PET scan is the scan of your whole body to check and make sure that there's no tumor. My armpits lit up with little tumors, masses underneath. I had one in my neck and then the one in my lung. So I'm like, whoa, this is serious. And I don't want to talk about like my mental state right now. I'm going to leave it for another video. But it was messed up here. Like, up there was so messed up. I had a lot of family support and friends, and God, of course, was in everything that was happening. So anyway, I go for surgery now. Get the surgery done. They remove the mass. And guess what? The part that they did the biopsy was benign, but the part that was malignant almost went to my lungs. So it was only a matter of time before that I had cancer in my lungs. So when I tell you that I was one of the lucky ones. So next I had to go do chemo. Then when he gave me the results of the mass, like the mass, because they send it to a pathology after you have your surgery. And he just sat me down in the office and he was like, how you feeling? I said, I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling fine. He said, how's your pain? I said, my pain is fine. He's like, how's your mental state? I said, I'm okay. I'm just relieved that there's something going on and you guys are trying to figure it out. And I know I'm in good hands and things like that. And he's like, okay, good, because you're going to need it because you have Hodgkin's lymphoma. Granted, he's a doctor, so he doesn't have to have, like, I don't know, I'm not saying compassion, but, it's different from nurses. Nurses will kind of, like, ease things in, but he was like, boom, here you go. You have Hodgkin's lymphoma. We figured it out. This is what you have now, what we're going to do. So, again, he referred me to one of the best hematology oncologists. And when I went to that doctor, he sat me down and spoke to me for over an hour while I was crying. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm finally, like, because I'm the type of person who is very, how do you say that? Very tough, very strong. Like, I got this. I will not break. But this time around, I was like, who are you kidding? Who are you kidding? You are going to go through something so traumatic, something so big. You just have to like, you gotta release. And in life, crying is good. You have to release. So he sat me down and he told me, he asked me questions and he said, would you like to have kids in the future? And I said, of course I would love to have kids. And he said, well, we're gonna freeze your eggs. Are you open to that? And I was like, all right, I'll freeze my eggs, like, whatever, I'll have. So that's what I did. I froze my eggs. I went through chemo for 6 months. I held on tight. I worked full time because I did not want to stay at home and feel sorry for myself. I wanted to push myself. I wanted to feel as normal as I could. I shaved my head off. I lost the weight. I lost my hair. I gained some weight. I was really big because I was on steroids. I was on a lot of things. and 6 months later I was cancer free. But I don't see it as a punishment in life. I really see the silver lining. I don't want to say I'm grateful that it happened to me, but I'm grateful that it happened to me because it changed my perspectives on a lot of things. It made me the person that I am today. And this what can I say? I couldn't tell me, like, I just had to go with the flow. And today I am cancer free and continuing my ride. So that was the story in a nutshell. So I'm glad you guys stuck around to listen to the whole thing, the happy ending. Actually, this week I have an appointment with my doctor, and I have a little surprise for him, which is my little baby in there, you know. So he's going to be so happy to know that we're so normal now that we can carry a healthy little boy, and that's it. So thank you for stopping by. Thank you for staying. I'll see you guys next week with another story time, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something from it. I hope you really caught something that, you know, is going to help you. I hope it touched you. I hope it entertained you. And, you know, just leave your comments. Like, comment, and subscribe. And talk to me. Tell me what's up. All right, bye.
I'm still smiling.